This isn't to shame you or anyone else in your life, because the truth is we all have things that drive other people crazy. But the question is, by understanding why we do them, can we give ourselves and the people in our lives more compassion and understanding? I'm biased, obviously, but I think the answer is a resounding yes. So let's look at a type who can sometimes adopt this as a personal motto. May the bridges I burn light the way. This type's worst fear is being taken advantage of. So to prevent this, they dominate the environment to make sure that they're not harmed by anybody else, aka steamrolling. But this can come at the expense of others, with people feeling like their voices don't matter when they're around this type. If you haven't guessed already, I'm talking about Enneagram 8s. But a lot of times when I start talking about 8s in these videos, people, they jump right to these preconceived negative judgments. One girl who I actually sold my car to said that she had taken an online test and got typed as an 8 and was told that it was the worst type because they were always angry and mean, which is absolute hogwash, because 8s have huge hearts. They have the ability to lift people up, to make an impact on the world, and love deeply. But that negative stereotype doesn't come from nowhere. So here's why 8s can come across as angry and mean. When they were young, an 8 probably experienced feeling weak, powerless, or manipulated. The experience made them feel so vulnerable, they vowed to never put themselves in that position ever again. It's why we call 8s the protector, because their core desire is to protect themselves and the people they love. I will protect each of you fiercely. But this posture has a flip side. If you betray them, it goes a little something like this. But if you lie to me, you're dead to me. You're out of the circle forever. The thinking is, if I can control everything, there won't be anyone to sneak up and betray me. So when an 8 is steamrolling you, it's not because they're trying to be mean, it's because they're trying to protect themselves. That's why they can be quick to blame other people for things that are actually their fault. Because saying, dude, I'm so sorry, I messed up, puts them in danger of vulnerability, which is actually the key to an 8's personal growth. By embracing vulnerability, yes, they're going to open themselves up to hurt, but they're also going to open themselves up to incredible growth, intimacy, and understanding. This is also a growth hack for another Enneagram type, one who views the world as intrusive, so they detach from people and avoid vulnerability at all costs. But instead of protecting themselves by trying to seize power like 8s, they protect themselves by trying to gain as much information as possible. That way, they will always feel capable and competent. This is the Enneagram Type 5. But this zest for knowledge, like anything taken to an extreme, can actually lead to more harm than good. Like when 5s choose to sink into bottomless wormholes of the internet rather than spend time with the people that they love. Have you been here all day? Yep. Or when 5s spend so much time preparing to do something that they forget to actually, do the thing, because they feel like they have to gather all the information before making a decision and participating.
Are you sure you don't want to join us? We're doing vinyasa yoga today. No, that's okay. I think I'm just gonna watch so I can learn how to do it that way. Okay.
But this tendency to withdraw is actually coming from fear. 5s are afraid of being overwhelmed by their own needs and the needs of others. Fear that if they put themselves out there, their inner resources are going to be catastrophically drained and they're going to be left with nothing. So they protect themselves by building up these walls of knowledge and solitude. Unfortunately, this comes at the cost of true connection with other people and the ability to experience all that life has to offer. Then there's another type that struggles with true connection because they're afraid to be their raw, authentic selves. What if people don't like the real me? I should try to be who they want me to be. So they hustle to achieve. The thinking is, if I can be super impressive with all of my accomplishments, then people will find me worthy of love and admiration. Which, apart from being untrue, also leads to some extremely annoying behaviors, like being overly competitive.
Scarlett, in the bedroom with the lead pipe. I won. I am the best clue player on the history of the planet. I am amazing. You are the loser.
We are never playing Clue together ever again. Or struggling with being honest. How are you? Great, never been better. Really? Because I just saw you sobbing in the car at the stop sign. That wasn't me. We've been married 5 years. I know what you look like. Also, you had our dog in the backseat. I'm fine. Stop interrogating me.
You're clearly not fine. Tell me what's wrong.
I've literally never been more full of joy in my entire life. This is a 3's core weakness, deceit. Or put another way, refusing to acknowledge who they really are. This could look like shape-shifting to charm the room, or bragging and kind of exaggerating to make yourself look better. Because they feel like if they were real about who they are and what they're really feeling, they're not gonna get that attention, that approval that they so desperately want. But then there's the type that looks for approval from the world's harshest critic, themselves. Yeah, I'm talking about Enneagram 1s, talking about you guys, who hold themselves to such a high standard that the tiniest mistake can cause an emotional breakdown. Oh my God, I CC'd someone instead of BCC'd. Damn it, I am so stupid. Am I in kindergarten? Have I ever even used email before?
It's okay. It's just a little mistake. You don't need to freak out.
You don't understand. Just because you're okay doing shoddy work doesn't mean that I am.
Did I do something to upset you? I feel like I'm always doing something wrong.
I'm just frustrated with you, myself, everything. That picture on the wall, the tea tastes weird. I'm just frustrated. And sure, you could attribute this to a 1 being a perfectionist. But the reason behind this trait can be found in a 1's core fear: being wrong, inappropriate, or corruptible. They're so afraid of messing up, they put incredible pressure on themselves to be perfect. And that includes not letting unmanageable emotions get the best of them. For example, a lot of 1s view anger as bad because it makes you look unhinged. It makes things look crazy, right? So they push that down and it leads to this simmering frustration that is definitely gonna boil over.
Everything's fine.
Why are you just laying there? People are coming over. This whole place has to be spotless.
I'm not mad. I'm just frustrated.
We have so much to do.
Everything's fine.
That's why I always say the best growth hack for 1s is to release your inner child. When 1s allow themselves to experience joy, to make mistakes, to do things just for fun that aren't productive, that's a sign that they're moving away from that inner perfectionist and towards something so much healthier. And then there's the type 1's neighbor on the Enneagram, type 2, also known as the helper, who can, on the surface, look faultless. I mean, they're so helpful and giving. How could they possibly have any annoying traits? But au contraire, mon frère, if you have a 2 in your life, you may have noticed that they help, and they often help even when help is not wanted or needed. Ow, paper cut. Do not fear, I am here to save the day. Thou shalt not read any more, my lady, as it is causing you only pain, which causes me pain. Here, give me thy book, give me thy book.
I'm okay, it's just a tiny paper cut, it's just a little...
Never again shall my lady be hurt by that evil contraption of paper. Or they feel insecure about their relationships, so they start acting jealous.
What is this? A coffee cup? Yeah, I went to coffee this morning.
You went to coffee without me?
I had to meet with Michael from...
Michael? Not only did you go to coffee without me, but you went with some guy?
Yes, I've told you
I've never heard about a Michael. And what kind of a name is Michael anyway? Michael, my name's Michael.
He's my boss. It was a business meeting. Oh.
So here's the big why between the 2's annoying traits. Their core fear is being rejected and unwanted. So their actions are a result of running from that fear. The thinking is, if I can make myself indispensable to others, then they can't reject me because they need me. Even if that means giving with strings attached or running around trying to solve everyone else's problems while completely ignoring your own. But let's look at a type who has no problem focusing on their own problems. In fact, they probably focus on their own problems a bit too much. Like when they start to make their feelings, however fleeting, into facts, which leads to retreating from the world and sinking into melancholy. This is the individualist, Enneagram Type 4. Now, I want to note here, and this is true for every single Enneagram type in this video, that I'm not saying that if you are this type, then you act exactly like this, or you have these annoying traits all the time. I'm simply showing the unhealthier side of each personality type that can happen. That way you can be aware of it and you can grow away from those more negative traits. For example, it's helpful for a type 4 to know when they're in a pattern of wallowing and realize that they make things worse by choosing not to do proactive things that are gonna pull them out of that headspace. I suck and I contribute nothing to the world.
That's not true. You have so much to give.
You know nothing about me.
We've been married for 8 years. Look, why don't we go for a walk? That always makes you feel better.
I don't want to.
How about we go to Jill and Tommy's? We can play with their golden retriever.
I hate Jill and Tommy.
What if you give your therapist a call?
I'd rather sit here, watch The Office, and think about how terrible I am. This attitude of defeat comes from a place of fear, that they're not special or unique, and therefore that their time on Earth isn't going to be significant. It's why you'll find that 4s can be overly judgmental about things they deem as basic or ordinary, because they're so afraid of being those things themselves.
Pumpkin spice latte season.
You want some?
I don't know you.
You want a taste? It's pumpkin-y. You have to try it. Here, take a little sippy sip. Take a little sip. A little taste. A little tasty taste. Just like sip on a leaf. Sip on a pumpkin pie.
Then there's a type that could care less about being unique and special as long as they have their core desire: stability and support. This is Enneagram Type 6. But when that support and stability is put into danger because of other people, that's when this next annoying trait comes into play. On this day, 2 years ago, you borrowed my car and told me you would fill up my gas tank, and when I went to work the next morning, I ran out of gas on the freeway because you didn't do what you said you were gonna do.
I apologize profusely for that.
Oh, and then 3 months ago, you told me you were gonna meet me at the restaurant at 6, and then you didn't show up till 6:30. I was waiting alone, like a loser.
Is this just a journal filled with all of my mistakes?
And then 9 days ago, when I went to go pick up the kids, you said you would take the roast out of the oven, but then you forgot, so it burned so badly, we all ate Domino's for dinner.
To be fair, that pizza was delicious.
Yes, it was delicious, but that is so not the point. 6s have a hard time forgiving when their trust is broken. So they have a habit of keeping track of every way a person has hurt them in the past so they can prevent it from happening in the future. You'll also recognize this by another name: ye olde anxiety, aka worrying about the past, present, and future, and constantly anticipating worst case scenarios.
What you doing under there?
We live in Los Angeles over the San Andreas Fault, okay? We are in constant danger of a magnitude 8 earthquake. This is honestly the safest place for me right now.
You do realize we have a board meeting here in about 5 minutes?
Do you think everyone's gonna be able to fit under here?
No.
Now, the ability to be a devil's advocate is also a strength in Type 6s, especially in the workplace. But when it's taken too far, it can result in a 6 just being completely ruled by their fears, which isn't fun, it's not healthy, and we don't want that for you. On the flip side, let's look at a type who would rather not focus on bad things that are gonna happen. In fact, if they could permanently super glue rose-colored glasses to their face, they would do it. This is Enneagram Type 7, who struggles with gluttony, essentially a never-ending search for the next exciting thing in the hopes that that will finally make you happy.
I feel sad. Oh, do you want to talk? But you know what? It doesn't matter because I'm getting coffee with Sarah in 5 minutes, and then I have a Zumba class with Monica, and then I'm going to meet with 3 potential new clients. Okay, but you just said that you were sad, so do you want to talk about... I'm buying us 2 tickets to Mexico so we can finally see the ancient Mayan ruins.
Mexico? Do we have the money
We're
for
probably
that?
going to need one of those hipster Polaroid cameras that you get from Urban Outfitters, so I'm going to stop there before I go to Zumba with Monica. And you know what? I'm going to get some new outfits too. This is going to be so fun. Great talk. Bye.
But by avoiding pain, 7s deprive themselves of deeper internal growth, which is ironic because the 7's greatest fear is being deprived. But when they act like this...
I heard you lost a job. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine. You know what they say, when one door closes, another one opens.
Yeah, but you really loved that job.
Sometimes good things fall apart, so better things can come together.
Can you just stop for like a second and feel something? Anything?
I can't hear you. Every cloud has a silver lining. They're depriving themselves of that introspection that will ultimately make them wiser and stronger. Do you know what 7s hate more than anything else in the world? Did you get bored waiting for that answer? Because the answer is boredom. They hate boredom. 7s would rather eat worms than be bored because when they do experience that icky feeling, they get real cranky.
Whose idea was it to stay home today? Homo sapien castanegan hallucinogen.
I'm gonna read Harry Potter.
I don't know what to do with myself.
Next, we've got a number that Suzanne Stabile calls the most stubborn number on the Enneagram.
Hey, we need to go now. We're gonna be late. You need to hurry up.
Is it really that bad if we're late?
Yeah, I would like to be on time for my mom's birthday dinner. Can you chop chop?
Just moving in slow motion. You're just slow motion. She's turning 60. Really? This is Enneagram Type 9, whose annoying trait of stubbornness stems from a resistance to change. They want to stay comfortable and content, so if someone's telling them what to do and that thing is not comfortable and cozy, they're gonna push back on it. But not directly. I mean, don't be ridiculous. They're not gonna go outright and say what's bothering them. Instead of voicing their anger aloud, it's gonna come out in passive aggressiveness. You good? Perfect. Okay.
Are you sure? Because it sounds like you're taking a lot of frustration out on that pan. Just cooking us dinner?
Okay.
Something is definitely wrong. Why would something be wrong? I'm just cooking and cleaning and doing all the chores for the millionth time by myself. Everything's fine.
They're afraid that if they voice their needs, like loud and proud, people are gonna reject them and then they're gonna lose connection with their community. AKA a 9's core fear, being in conflict with other people. If you've watched this far in the video, it's probably because you're interested in self-growth. Me too. Hi. Nice to meet you. Which means you probably want to know the red flags of when you're becoming a person that you don't want to be. So in this next video, I'll walk you through the red flags of all 9 personality types so that you can step up your self-awareness game.